Hey guys, DC here, coming at you with another video. After seeing the reveal for Pokémon Winds and Waves, I decided to take a look at the Japanese logos for the games because the Japanese logos typically reveal to us the gimmick for every single new generation of Pokémon. This has been something that has been present since the original X and Y, where if you look at the Japanese logos for the games, you can see the Mega Evolution symbol within them. For Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, you see the blue and red orb within the logos for the game. For Pokemon Sun and Moon, you see the Z crystals within the logos. For Pokemon Sword and Shield, you have a special symbol representing Dynamax and Gigantamax. And lastly, in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the Japanese logo have the symbol that represents terastallization within them. So if we move towards the logos for Pokemon Winds and Waves, the Japanese logos of the game have a special symbol within them that kind of looks a little bit ghostly to me. It's kind of like this neon colored 3/4 of a circle that has these kind of like ghostly tails to it, where one side is green, the other side is purple, probably trying to emulate the Winds and Waves colors respectively. As you can see, the little wave marks that they have for both Winds and Waves, the Wind one is kind of like this neonish green, and then the Waves one has a gradient that goes from blue to purple. So I presume the logo of this gimmick is trying to emulate that, hey, this is for both of these games, or maybe that's just something to do with the gimmick itself. We'll have to wait and see. But there's also this little circle within the 3/4 circle that kind of looks like an eye. And overall, just from the leaks and whatnot, we know that the gimmick is going to have to do with these Majin, these, deity-like Pokemon from another dimension, kind of similar to Ultra Beast. And the vibe I'm getting, given we have that information already, and from this logo itself, it does look more ghostly to me. So maybe this new gimmick, this new logo that we have here for the gimmick is going to have to do with possessing Pokemon. Part of the leak from the earlier parts of last year was that apparently these Majin were going to basically grant these powers onto Pokemon, and supposedly they were going to bestow greater powers upon certain Pokemon where you get a sort of form change or something of the sort. So maybe it's kind of like these Majin temporarily possess our Pokemon to grant them special powers. Obviously, we have this image, or this GIF I should say, from earlier in development of this Pikachu undergoing the Majin effect, the gimmick, and it's really hard to determine what exactly is happening here from this, as the Pikachu is kind of just bubbling and we don't really know much else other than that or what to make of this. And I will say that, things are subject to change from the Terra leak. Just because this was a part of the Terra leak doesn't mean that this is something that's going to be in the final version of the game. I talked about this in my first look video for Pokemon Winds and Waves. Card above to that video if you haven't seen it. But within that video, I was discussing how, hey, things are going to change from the Terra leak, because if you watch the initial trailer, we already saw 2 changes from what we saw in the Terra leak. And it's not to say that that information from the leak itself was fake. No, that's 100% real. It's just that things change during development. Game development has a lot of twists and turns within it. Things change. Actually, there's 3 things that changed. Number 1, the release date for this game was supposed to be 2026 in the fall. This game's coming out in 2027 at an unknown date. That's the first thing that changed. The second thing that changed is actually 4 things. The second thing that changed is the Pikachu model that we saw. We saw a Pikachu model from the Terra leak that was going to be this brand new look for Pikachu. And if you look at the trailer for this game, we did not get that model for Pikachu within it. It looks more akin to the Pikachu that we've seen for years for X and Y onward, right? The model might be different, yes, but it's not that exact model that we saw within the Terra leak. The third change is how we encounter our starter Pokemon. Within the Terra leak, it said we would encounter our starter Pokemon within a big city within this region. Well, if we look at the gameplay footage we have here from the trailer, we can see that we're encountering our starter Pokemon for the first time on a sandy beach. So again, not in this big city like it was said in the Terra leak. And the fourth thing that changed from the leaks is the logos for the games. The logos are different. They are not the same logos that we saw, although I will say those logos weren't a part of the Terra leak. They were from 4chan, but supposedly they were real. These are different logos from the ones we've seen for months now. So what I'm trying to get at here is things are subject to change. Just because something was in the Terra leak doesn't mean it's going to happen 1-to-1 how it was leaked leaked to happen or how it was being planned to happen at the point in time. Another example of this would be that how in the initial Terra leak they said there were going to be 54 islands for this game. Then they went down to, I believe I read somewhere, 32 or 36. But then in the final version of the game, apparently we're getting 18 islands plus some ocean explorable areas and some deep sea explorable areas. We're not getting 54 islands in this game. Again, things change all along development, so the gimmick may have drastically changed from what we know from this Terra leak. But all I could tell you right now is that we're getting our first look at this gimmick, or the logo for it, within these logos. And the vibe it's giving me is kind of like this ghostly, spooky type logo, because we have these little wisp tails at the end of it, along with this kind of eye looking thing. It kind of looks, for lack of a better term, demonic. It looks like this is going to have to do with possessing Pokemon, potentially. And given that we know from the leaks that Majin are these deity-like Pokemon from another dimension that are going to be heavily tied into this gimmick, and given that part of the leak from earlier last year from Moot, or his rumor or speculation, whatever that was, said that, hey, these Majin-like Pokemon are going to bestow powers onto regular Pokemon, and we're going to have possession of certain Pokemon in Apotheosis, where we have this transformation-like gimmick or transformation-like mechanics similar to Gigantamax and Mega Evolution, makes me think that this actually might be what this gimmick is going to be about. It might be that these Majin-like Pokemon possess our regular Pokemon and bestow powers upon them based on the typing of the Majin. If you have an Ice-type Majin, the Pokemon will get Ice-type powers. If you have the Fire-type Majin, for example, maybe your Pokemon will start bubbling like this Pikachu does in this GIF that we have from the Terra leak. That's what I'm guessing here for this gimmick. I might be completely wrong. The gimmick might be something completely different from what I'm saying, but given the logo that we're seeing here, I'm getting some more spooky and ghostly vibes from it, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't think it's probably going to be in the next trailer. That's the thing. When are we going to get our first look at the gimmick? The next trailer most certainly is going to show us the region map, the name of the region, our cover legendaries, but will it also reveal to us the gimmick? The gimmick is obviously something that is often revealed to us pretty early on within the marketing cycle of a new Pokemon generation, so we're either looking at the next trailer or the one after that for when we get this gimmick officially revealed to us. And of course there's going to be secrets about it from there on out, because they're not going to tell us everything right away. Like they didn't tell us about the stellar type right away with terrestrialization, but nevertheless, I'm definitely going to keep my eye on it, what exactly this gimmick is, because we have our first look at it within the Japanese logos for these games. Anyways, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about all this. What do you guys think the new gimmick within Pokemon Winds and Waves is going to be? Do you agree with me that given the logo we have here for, or the icon I should say, it kind of does give more ghostly or spooky vibes, or do you disagree with me and you have a completely different take on what this is going to be? If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from Trader DC. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.